Hello and welcome to the lecture series on alcohols, and in this video we are going to see the methods of preparation of alcohols from alkenes. But before that, let us list out some of the methods through which we can prepare alcohols. Okay, so the first is oxymercuration demercuration, the second is hydroboration oxidation, the third is hydroxylation of alkenes, the fourth is Grignard synthesis, the fifth is hydrolysis of alkyl halides, the sixth is aldol condensation, seventh is reduction of carbonyl compounds, and the eighth is reduction of acids and esters. So among these, the first three reactions, that is oxymercuration demercuration, hydroboration oxidation, and hydroxylation of alkenes, these can be utilized to form alcohols from alkenes. And among these also, the first two methods, that is oxymercuration demercuration and hydroboration oxidation, these two are utilized to a larger extent to form alcohols in the laboratory, since they are very easy and convenient to perform. And the third method, that is hydroxylation of alkenes, it is utilized to produce some diols, which we will see in this lecture. And with this, let us begin with our reactions. So the first is oxymercuration and demercuration reaction. So as the name suggests, it is a combination of two reactions. The first is oxymercuration and the second is demercuration. So we'll discuss the first reaction first, and this oxymercuration can again be divided into two terminologies. The first is oxy and the second is mercuration. So oxy can be something related to either oxygen or any moiety containing oxygen, and mercuration, it will definitely involve mercury. And similarly, the second reaction, that is demercuration, is again comprising of two words. The first is de and the second is mercuration. So de stands for removal of something. So the second reaction, it will show us that how the mercury is removed, and these kinds of reactions belong to the class of addition reaction. And let us see our reaction, oxymercuration demercuration, and here is our alkene. And alkenes generally show the addition kind of reactions where the pi bond is broken in order to produce two sigma bonds, and these addition reactions can also be seen in case of some alkynes. Okay, so let us begin with this reaction, and our first reactant is alkene and the second is mercuric acetate along with water. So basically this addition reaction involves addition of water here to our alkene molecule. The first reactant is mercuric acetate and the second is water. So we can conveniently write this water as H plus and OH minus, and this mercuric acetate here, the moiety in the white box can be written as HgOAc, where this OAc will show us OCOCH3 minus. Okay, so in this, since this pi bond is going to be broken and two sigma bonds are going to be formed, this moiety is going to attack at this CH2 and this OH is going to attack at this carbon in order to give us an intermediate, which is a hydroxymercurial compound. Okay, which is a hydroxymercurial compound. Now this hydroxymercurial compound contains this HgOAc moiety, which will be removed in the subsequent step in order to introduce a hydrogen. So this kind of reaction where hydrogen is attached to any compound are called as reduction reactions. We are familiar with this. Okay, so this reduction reaction with the help of sodium borohydride results in an alcohol which shows the Markovnikov addition product. Now we'll see what this Markovnikov addition is in the next slide itself, but before that let us have an example. Now here we have taken 3,3-dimethyl-but1-ene as a reactant, but before that let us keep track of where the moieties are going. So for that what we will do is we will just label these carbons which are attached to a double bond by small a and small b. Okay, so this mercuric acetate, this is attacking on small b, so here this carbon will be small b and this OH has attacked at carbon number A, so this will be carbon number A. So this is carbon number A and this is carbon number B. So this is the general reaction, and this 3,3-dimethyl-but1-ene also contains two carbons with a double bond between them, so we'll just label them as A and B so that it will be easier for us to comprehend where our moieties are going. So here in this common alkene structure we can see that this carbon is attached to a hydrogen, so this is the hydrogen here and this is the hydrogen here, and a moiety called A. So this isobutyl group is A here. Okay, so now you will see that in the general reaction there was no change in this A. So for our reaction with this reactant we can safely draw this A moiety. So here we have drawn this A moiety, and this A is attached to carbon number small a. So this will be our carbon with the label small a, and this carbon with small a is attached to small b. So this is our small b. The other two substitutions are OH and H in this case. Okay, so here I would like all of you to draw this hydroxymercurial compound for our reactant, that is 3,3-dimethyl-but1-ene, and this reactant, this intermediate rather, will react with sodium borohydride in order to give us this alcohol. Okay, so you can see that this alcohol is having an OH group at carbon number A and this H at carbon number B. This will come handy when we will see the next reaction. What can be the name of this compound? The name of this compound can be 3,3-dimethyl-butane 2-ol. Okay, and now let us come to the Markovnikov addition, and for that let us see the description of this Markovnikov addition. So the description says, in the addition reaction of alkenes, if an asymmetric alkene reacts with a protic acid HX, so it can be HCl, HBr, HI, in fact it can be water as well, because either it can react with a protic acid or a polar reagent, so water can also be there. In our case here we have this mercuric acetate as a polar reagent. Okay, so what happens here? The hydrogen or the electropositive part of our reactant will be attached to the carbon which already has more number of hydrogen atoms. So let us draw our reactant here, that is our alkene from the previous slide, that is this structure. Now this structure contains two carbons, that is this and this carbon, and in this or I'll just draw this arrow somewhat bigger so that we can just put the reactants on this. Okay, so this carbon is having two hydrogens and this is having one hydrogen, so definitely this has more number of hydrogens. So there were two moieties that were attacking at this alkene. So one was HGOAC and the other was OH minus. So according to this definition, this OH minus, which is the electronegative part, it will attach itself to the carbon with less number of hydrogens. So it will go at our carbon number A, and this HGOAC, this will go at our carbon number B. Okay, so I'll just draw the structure again for this. So this is CH2, so HGOAC has attacked at carbon number A, and this OH has attacked at carbon number, HGOAC at carbon number B, and OH at carbon number A. The rest of the molecule will be as is, and we have reacted this with sodium borohydride in order to give us our final alcohol. Okay, so this is A and this is H. Now this Markovnikov addition is exhibited in the reactions of type electrophilic addition reactions. Okay, we are not going too deep into the mechanism of these kinds of reactions because these are better covered in the chemical properties of alkenes, and there we will definitely see the mechanism for this Markovnikov addition as well. And let us come to our next reaction, that is hydroboration oxidation reaction, and this again contains two terminologies. The first is hydroboration and the second is oxidation. So it is again comprising of two words. The first one, that is hydro, something related to hydrogen or any moiety containing it, and the second is boration, which is related to boron. And the second reaction is self-explanatory, that is oxidation, and this again is a kind of addition reaction which exhibits the addition of water here in this reaction as well. So this is our hydroboration oxidation reaction where our alkene is going to react with diborane. Now remember, this diborane is a dimer of a hypothetical compound, that is borane, which can be represented by the structure of BH3. So why I am saying this is hypothetical and this is the actual structure, because in nature you will find this moiety in the form of this diborane, but when it reacts with certain compounds, it behaves as if it was this structure. Okay, so let us see what we mean by this. So when this diborane reacts with alkene, again we will see that since we know that it is going to behave as borane, so this is BH2 and this is H, that is BH3. Okay, so this BH2 moiety is going to attack at this CH2 and this H is going to attack at this carbon. Again we can just label these A and B as in the previous reaction, and we'll see that this BH2 is attached to this CH2, that is carbon number B, and H has attached to carbon number A. Now this BH2 is capable of removal of these hydrogens one by one, and we can attach these whole alkene moiety to this, and we will be able to get 3 molecules of our alcohol here. Okay, so here when this diborane reacts with our alkene, it results in the compounds of the series alkyl borane, and these alkyl boranes when react with H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide, these undergo oxidation reaction to give us the alcohol, but this time the product is anti-Markovnikov. So as the name suggests, it will definitely be the product which is just opposite to Markovnikov, but we'll come to that in the next slide. Before that, let us see the example, and we have taken the same compound that we had taken here, that is 3,3-dimethyl but1-ene. Okay, so this 3,3-dimethyl but1-ene when reacts with diborane, we'll just write it as BH3 BH3. Okay, just correct it. And Here again we will find that this is our carbon number A and this is our carbon number B. As before, we have this moiety as the substitution A, and again you just try to draw the alkyl borane for this 3,3-dimethyl-butene, which will then react with H2O2 to undergo the oxidation reaction and form an alcohol which is 3,3-dimethyl-butane 1-ol. So how to draw this product? Again we'll draw the moiety that has not changed here. So A has not changed in this reaction, so we have just drawn A. Now this A group is attached to the carbon labeled small a, so this is the small a, and this carbon small a is attached to small b carbon, so this is our small b carbon. And as in this case, the H atom will be attached to carbon number A, you can see here, and the OH, it is attached to carbon number B. So here the compound that we have got is 3,3-dimethyl-butane 1-ol, in contrast to the product of this reaction, which was 3,3-dimethyl-butane 2-ol. Okay, so this is one of the differences in these two reactions, that the position of attachment of OH group is different in both these reactions. So now let us come to our next slide that explains us anti-Markovnikov addition. So as the name itself suggests, anti-Markovnikov, it means that it will behave just opposite to what we have seen in the Markovnikov addition. That is the same thing that is written here. Okay, so the thing to remember here is that generally in these anti-Markovnikov additions you have an involvement of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so this is hydrogen peroxide, and whenever you find these hydrogen peroxides in any reaction, you will say that these will be the generators of free radicals, and the reactions will be of free radical types. So here in this case our reaction is free radical addition. Again, we are not going too deep into the free radical addition mechanism, but we are definitely going to cover it in the chapter on alkenes. And here let us see what consequences we can have. So this is our reactant alkene. This reacts with, I'll just write BH2 and H here. So what do we get? We get a product in which BH2 is added to this carbon and H is added to this. So this is A and this is H, and in the next reaction it is going to react with H2O2, and we are going to get the product which contains OH here and H here. So, and you have A and you have H here already. So we have this as carbon number A, this as carbon number B, this as A, this as B, and this as A, and this as B. So definitely the product is just opposite to what we had seen for oxymercuration, demercuration. One more contrast that you will find in oxymercuration, demercuration and hydroboration oxidation is that in oxymercuration, demercuration, OH is added first. I'll write OH is added first and then the H is added. Okay, so in the first reaction you can see that OH has been introduced in our alkene moiety, but in case of hydroboration oxidation you will find that H is introduced first. Okay, so these are some of the differences between these two reactions, but there is again a common thing and that is that both these methods, alcohols of the same carbon skeleton as that of the reactants are obtained. Now what do we mean by that? Let us count the number of carbons in this 3,3-dimethyl butene. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. Okay, so the reactant contains 6 carbons, and the product, it as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, contains 6 carbons. This is in contrast to the reactions of Grignard reagent, in which we will get a different product. We will see it in detail into that video. So with this, I think we are clear with hydroboration oxidation and oxymercuration demercuration reactions. And now let us come to the next kind of reactions. Those are hydroxylation of alkenes. Okay, so as the name suggests, the alkenes are going to be hydroxylated here, and we are going to use two reagents, in which the first is very well known oxidizing agent, that is KMnO4, and it is a strong one, right? So this is a strong oxidizing agent. Okay, so potassium permanganate. Now this is so strong that it oxidizes the carbons at both the positions in the double bond, and therefore we are able to obtain a diol. Okay, we are able to obtain a diol, which is also called as a glycol. Okay, now here one caveat is very important, and that is a KMnO4 reagent is so strong that if its concentration or the time of reaction is not controlled diligently, this alcohol can go on to be converted to aldehyde through further oxidation, which can further be converted to an acid. Okay, so this you have to keep into mind, that the concentration of KMnO4 is very important. And the second reaction, it involves a per acid, which first converts our alkene to an epoxy derivative, which is further hydrolyzed to give us alcohol, which is again having two hydroxyl groups at the adjacent carbons. So this is again a glycol. But the difference between these two reactions is that when KMnO4 attacks, the product shows a syn orientation, whereas the per acid results in the product with anti-orientation. So in syn orientation, the same groups will be present at the same side of the bond, but in anti-orientation, the same groups will be present at the opposite ends of the double bonds. So these are the three reactions of alkenes through which we can get alcohols, and let us summarize this very quickly. So there are various methods of preparation for alcohols. Some of these are oxymercuration, demercuration, hydroboration, oxidation, hydroxylation of alkenes, Grignard synthesis, hydrolysis of alkyl halides, aldol condensations, reduction of carbonyl compounds, and reduction of acids and esters. Among these, the first three reactions are able to give us alcohols from alkenes. So the first reaction is oxymercuration demercuration, which is an addition kind of a reaction, and it results in a product which is a result of Markovnikov addition. Now what do we mean by Markovnikov addition? Markovnikov addition suggests that whenever a protic acid or a polar reagent, it attacks at an asymmetric alkene, the hydrogen or the electropositive part of this polar reagent will always go to the carbon which is already having higher number of hydrogens, and the other group will go at the carbon which is having lower number of hydrogens. Okay, so the next reaction is hydroboration oxidation, and this again comprises of two reactions. The first is hydroboration and the second is oxidation. Here diborane is used, which is a dimer of a hypothetical compound borane, and the product that results is having anti-Markovnikov addition. The next slide that we had seen was of anti-Markovnikov addition, which is a kind of a free radical addition, and just as the name suggests, anti-Markovnikov addition gives us a product in which the hydrogen, it gets attached to the carbon which is having lower number of hydrogens, and the other group will go at the carbon with higher number of hydrogens, and this effect is also known as Kharash effects in the name of the scientist who discovered it. And the next and the last reaction was hydroxylation of alkenes, which can be carried out with two reagents. One is potassium permanganate and the other is a peracid. This potassium permanganate, when reacts with alkene, it is so stronger an oxidizing agent that it oxidizes both the carbons. Same is the case with this peracid as well. It is again a stronger oxidizing agent, but the problem with KMnO4 is that if the reaction conditions are not controlled, the product that we have obtained can very easily go to aldehyde and acid stages. And one more thing is that both these compounds are going to give us diols, means there are two hydroxyl groups at the adjacent carbons, which are also known as glycols. The difference between the reactions with KMnO4 and peracid is that the result of KMnO4 reaction is an anti-oriented product in which both the hydroxyl group will be in the on the same side of the bond, whereas in the peracid reaction the anti-orientation is obtained in which both the hydroxyl groups will be at the opposite end of the bond. So with this we finish our reactions of methods of preparation on alkenes. Thank you very much.